What up, what up, what up? It's Herb Hill, Keep It Trill podcast. Today is May 22nd, 2021. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? It's Friday night. I don't even know what people can do on Fridays no more. I mean, I know things is opening back up. I'm not falling for the okie doke. I didn't do much anyway. I'm married, got kids. Like, it ain't like I could go clubbing and be around people. Like, I got a very limited amount of things that I do. I don't do much. You know what I mean? I just kind of started going back to the gym, so that's my excitement. I got 3 kids, 1 on the way. I'm married. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't doing nothing out here. I go to work in my business. You know, this is pretty much my time. I mean, I started a second business making shirts. It's called the Trill Tees. That's the name of my business. I'm making T-shirts and custom apparel and stuff like that, customized apparel. So look out for that. I'm gonna start, showing some things in a little bit here. I'm just trying to build up my catalog of the things that I got, the things that I'm trying to make. I don't do much, but I don't know what people be doing out here now. Like, is there gatherings? Is there parties? Is people going out clubbing like they used to? You know, y'all passing bottles, passing blunts, all that stuff. And I ain't do none of that to begin with. But yeah, if you're doing it, be safe, stay sucker free always. But yeah, man, it's always a wild time. It's always wild, just the things that go on, just the things that's going on in the world. And I think, as human beings, we look at what we see or what we deal with. I find it funny that when you see people on TV or just people that your peers, like when you talk to these people, like their minds aren't taking in any of this information in any type of way. Like they don't have a thought about anything that's going on in this world that they question. It's like nobody questions anything. Everybody just accepts what it is and keeps it pushing. I question everything. If I ever would write down a list, it would be everything that I probably come across on a daily basis. And that's just the type of person I am. I'm very literal. Very, very literal. My wife hates it, but I hate it sometimes too. But it's the way I think. I'm always thinking like, well, if this is this, why is this? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like that little kid that always asks the questions. I'm very skeptical. You're not going to tell me something and then it make me just, okay. I'm going to be like, why? Like, I got bad grades in elementary because, not spelling, but math. So math was not my strongest subject in school. Now, we did addition. I got it. Subtraction. I got it. Multiplication. I got it. I struggle with it a little bit, but when we hit division, oh man, talking about straight F's. And the reason why, my brain had the answer. And I mean, if you guys think back to elementary school, even junior high and high school, when you did division, you had to show the work. Now, with me, I could not show the work because the answer was in my head. I would just put the answer down, and my teacher would be like, technically, it's right, but you didn't show the work, so therefore you're wrong. And I didn't understand, like, how you going to tell me I'm wrong if I'm right? And they're like, you're not showing your work. But I'm like, how can I show the work if I did the problem in my head? So they took me out of my class, put me in the resource special ed class because I was so behind. With division, I started, like, getting really, really behind. And they're trying to teach me from square one. I mean, when it's like, what's 1 divided by 10? I'm like, I get it. I got the answers already. And they did nothing for me but set me back. and I was like what, fifth grade, somewhere around there. But I had to take my time out of school and learn things on my own. But that's what I'm saying. I'm very literal, like with everything. I question everything. I'm skeptical of everything. Oh, why is 2 2? Where did 2 come from? Where did we get these numbers? Where do we get these letters? Why does this word mean this? Like, so that's the way my brain is. So when I'm becoming an adult, and now that I'm an adult, I'm 31, going on 32 years old. When I see these things going on and these conversations and these scenarios that we living in right now, I'm questioning these things because they say, hey, you guys don't need to wear a mask. Oh, actually you do. Oh, don't worry about it. Take it off after a year of wearing it. The damage is done. Our respiratory systems is jacked up. We all wore masks whether you wanted to or not, because if you had to go in the store, you had to respect the store, because a lot of us ain't got white privilege. We can't go in the store and say, I'm not wearing this mask. They call the police on you. White people can get away with so much. But they're starting to see that their privilege is slowly slipping away, especially if you're on the other side of the spectrum. If you're not poked yet, and if you're against the poke and against the mask, your privileges is being stripped away because you're not following in line. So I just question a lot of this stuff, man. And like I said, I have these conversations with people and their minds are off. Like, I look at TV, and Kwame Brown has done a great job at exposing what most people should already know. And I'm pretty ashamed that a lot of people are just now seeing it. Like, our TV, our sports, the sports journalism, the sports analysis, stuff like that. Everything on TV is practically somebody judging somebody else. Look at all the TV shows that they got. American Idol, The Voice, America's Got Talent. What's the one with the dancing? Dancing with the Stars, I think. There's quite a few of them. And then you got First Take. You got Undisputed. You got all these shows where it's a voice talking about something that they can't do. Can Simon Cowell sing? If he can, he ain't no Mariah Carey. He ain't no Fantasia. He ain't no Beyonce. He ain't no Christina Aguilera. He ain't no Britney Spears. Ain't even a J-Lo. But he can't do what these people can do. And there's people that go on that stage that can really sing. Maybe not like a Ruben Studdard or a Fantasia, but these people can sing. And he says you're not good enough. America's Got Talent. Who defines what talent is? You know what I mean? Like, this is all a part of Hollywood anyway. So who defines what talent is? Who defines who's talented and who's not? You go up there on the stage and juggle freaking oranges. They be like, oh my God, you're going to Vegas. But somebody go over there and I don't even know what you would consider talent. Because it's just something that we are equipped to do. You know what I mean? If I can jump and dunk a basketball, some people are like, oh, you're really talented. If I can sing a high note, somebody be like, oh, you're really talented. If I can run fast, they're like, oh, you got a lot of talent. You know what I mean? If I'm smart and I can calculate things really fast, they'll be like, oh, you're talented. Or maybe they'll just say you're a genius. But I don't know what is considered talent. It's just a special gift that we have. But Hollywood calls it a talent. That's just something that you got. You blessed with that. You know what I mean? They call it athletic abilities. Maybe it's DNA. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's genetics. You know what I'm saying? Like, but these people will tell you what you got and what you ain't got and what you ain't good at. Just like What they did with Kwame Brown. He was a number one pick. He may not have lived up to what they thought he would be, but he played in the league for 10 years or more than 10 years. That's a success in my eyes. If you make it to the NBA, that's a success. I don't care if you play a year, 10 games, 20 games. Like, I know people that made it to the NFL. I know people like that I grew up with that made it to the NFL. They didn't play 20 years, 5 years, 10 years. They played a couple years, got injured, and he's out. But he made it. You can say, in my lifetime, I made it. That's successful in my eyes, especially if you're going in the sports route. But, you know, you got people that's rich on TV that will tell you, oh, I'm successful. So everybody measures their success with those people, but there's different levels of success. You could be a janitor. My uncle was a janitor, and he was a good one. He was well respected. He did his job, you know, and he worked hard. And he taught me a lot as a young man. He gave me my first job, and I was cleaning with him. You know what I mean? He was robbing my ass, giving me $50 when I should have been making a little bit more. But I appreciate everything he did for me, showing me what hard work was and how to do it. You know, but people look at him because he's a janitor and say, "Oh man, your life is a waste." But I guarantee you, the CEO of the building that you're cleaning, I guarantee you they wouldn't get their hands dirty and do what you do. You know, like everybody always wants to level up on the person that's considered quote unquote beneath them, but you wouldn't do what they're doing, and you can't do what they're doing. How often do you see the owners of the company stocking groceries? How often do you see the owner of the company pushing carts? How often do you see the owner of the company frying fries? You know what I'm saying? You never see that. But these are the people that you consider successful. If you didn't do your job, if the people in the lower positions, if they didn't do their job, they would have to go and do that job, especially if they couldn't find nobody to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people look down on other people for some reason because everybody got this egotistical problem for some reason. I don't know why or where it comes from, but it is something that is bad right now. So everybody's looking at other people's level of success and measuring it up with theirs and be like, oh, I'm not like this person. Or whether it's relationships, oh, I need to have a relationship like Little Scrappy and such, Bambi. I need to have a relationship like Stevie J and Jocelyn. I need to have that Beyonce and Jay-Z relationship, or T.I. and Tiny. You know what I mean? And it's like, why want a relationship like somebody else when you're going into it, when you're focused on somebody else, you're already lost. One of the things I always told people, because I always had people competing with me for some reason. I'm a very competitive person when I'm playing sports. But in life, I don't compete with nobody. I ain't measuring up with nobody because this ain't a race. And if you thinking it's a race and you paying attention to me, you already lost, because every move I make, you paying attention to, and I'm already making another one. Never pay attention to somebody else's life and what they doing and how they doing it, because you lost the game already. This ain't sports where it's real time. You right there. When you watching somebody's life on Facebook and be like, oh man, they got a house, I need to go get a house. Oh, they got a Benz, I need to go get a Porsche. Oh man, they got a balcony, I need to go get a big old backyard and build a loft and whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's always trying to level up on the next person. It's like, I ain't got time for that. You know what I mean? I never was one to look at other people and be like, oh, I want that too. Because I didn't have nothing growing up. I grew up with nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I remember going to school, not having no food to eat. We would eat school lunch and not having no clothes. You know what I mean? I think we had one, maybe 2 or 3 good outfits. And it was like, we didn't get new clothes every month and every year. We didn't have new shoes. I just remember wearing a pair of shoes the whole school year. You know what I mean? In winter, summer, fall, spring, like shoes was beat up at the end of the year, but that's what I had. And I appreciate everything that I had because I didn't have much. So when you growing up in high school, everybody got the fresh Air Force Ones, whatever song is popping on the radio and 106 in Park at the time. These people coming to school with these new jerseys and headbands and long white tees and all that stuff. And it's like, I got what I got. I'm a little older. I got a little bit of money because I got to work for mine. That taught me to appreciate everything. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was working with my uncle. He kept me humble for a little bit with the humility and what he did for a living. You know what I mean? He was a janitor. And like I said, I learned it don't matter what position you are in, you always respect everybody just because we're all humans. We're all people. I don't care if you're the CEO. If you disrespect the janitor, I'm going to disrespect the CEO. I've been in them positions where I'm the new guy and I'm at the lowest position. I have no seniority. But just because I don't have no seniority, you're not going to talk to me like I'm not a person. Because I guarantee you when we clock out and we out of this building off work premises and you talk to me like I'm beneath you, we're going to have a discussion, or it might be a scuffle, might be some furniture moving. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't take disrespect well. And I think we live in a world where everybody's always like, oh, I'm better than you. You ain't like this. You a hater. You hating on me. Blah, blah, blah. I got this. You ain't got it. Everybody's always looking at the next person competing. And it's like, that's a bad way to live, man. It's a really bad mindset to have. To be trying to compete with the next person all the time. Oh, you got that new Jaguar. I gotta get a new one, man. I gotta get that too. Keeping up with the Joneses, that's how you go broke and be miserable because you looking at the next person trying to get what they got. What Eddie Kane said in 5 Heartbeats. You want my spot flash? Well, you can't get it because you ain't got it. Yeah, man. So I just see that a lot right now, and I know people personally that be looking at people on Instagram and be like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, and it's like just to go and take the pictures to make it look like you living an important life. Ain't nobody important. Me, myself included. I'm not important to y'all. Y'all ain't important to me. I'm important to myself. I'm important to my wife and my children. I have to provide for my wife and my children. That's what's important to me. I'm not worried about taking the best possible picture out of 1,000 on a beach when the sun is shining just right on the side of my face to show you guys, oh, I'm living good. But after this picture, I'm going to go cry myself to sleep because I'm miserable. Or I'm going to go sniff some cocaine because I'm miserable. Or pop some pills just because I can't sleep. You know what I mean? Like, y'all ain't important to me like that. I respect and love everybody. Even if I don't know you, because you are a human being, and I treat everybody with respect and love until you show me otherwise. And if you disrespect me, then I know I ain't feeling you. I don't hate you. I don't want to harm you, but you ain't going to be around me. So putting my personal energy, and I used to be a Facebook addict. And that's a real thing, man. I don't think people understand that you can be addicted to social media. I was addicted to social media for about, maybe 3 or 4 years? Maybe 3. I'll say 3. From 2010 to about 2013. In 2013, I actually started to realize I got in a relationship and I moved to Washington. I had this job where I was making $2,500 every 2 weeks. And I remember these girls would hit me up and be like, Herb, I need some help. And everybody saw what I had and what I was doing. They think I was living it up because I left the state of Alaska. And I moved to Seattle, and everybody thought I was doing it. I had a nice, good-looking female and all that. And it's like everybody thought they saw what they saw, but it's like I'm a regular dude. But I started to realize, this addiction that I had, I stopped posting as much, stopped going on there as much, and I kind of pulled my life away in a sense. Like, I stopped posting so many things regarding my life because it was like an open book diary for me. Like, I was posting everything. Like, man, I'm tired of this, and I feel this, and I would try to make people laugh. And then, I would wake up before I prayed, brushed my teeth, washed my face, ate food. I had my phone in my hand trying to figure out what to say just to engage with people. That's how bad it was for me. And I'm that was 7 years ago, 8 years ago now. Like, I don't have a problem admitting that. I'm very transparent. I ain't got nothing to hide. People think what they think of me. I don't care. I'm a person. I'm a human being. I got a heart. I got a beating heart. I have a conscience. I have a soul. I have a spirit. I have empathy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a good person. There's no such thing as a good person. I'm a good vessel. But yeah, I struggle with the Facebook thing, but it's a whole nother notch right now. It's way different than what it was back then. It wasn't even about the pictures. I just was posting all the time. And I engaged with a lot of people. I would have posts with like hundreds of people, hundreds of comments, you know what I mean? Just talking, being stupid, making fun. And I just had fun, you know what I mean? It was fun, but I realized it wasn't healthy. Being on something like that much, trying to engage with people that don't give two damns about me and my life. Maybe some people did, but a lot of people didn't. You know what I mean? Like, it was so bad. I remember going out on my birthday when I turned like 23. And I went out, and this girl was like, "Oh, you're hurt from Facebook." Like, I'm popping. You know what I mean? But I was popping. I was. Like, I got a lot of play off of Facebook. I ain't even going to lie. In the state, like, because I was a really quiet dude in school. I hung out with some of the popular people, but I wasn't out there like that. And then when I started to get out there like that, I got in a relationship, and I was in a relationship for 4 years with this girl. So I stayed out of the scene. I didn't go to parties. I didn't do none of that after high school. I was in a relationship. You know what I mean? So after that relationship, this is kind of when all this, I'm 21, 22, 23. I moved to Seattle first in 21, moved back 22. I was here for 2 years, and I moved back when I turned 23. No, I moved back. Yeah, I moved back when I turned 23. So, moved back to Seattle. And I was there until I was 24. But yeah, man, I experienced a lot, and I can say Facebook is definitely a devil, and it is a beast. Twitter, Instagram, and all that other stuff. I don't even get into all the Snapchats and TikToks. I ain't even there. I'm old. I'm an old man now. For all that stuff. I don't even get on that stuff. I ain't even trying to get on it. I just don't believe in having social media no more, because I see people that have the same friends on every site, and it's like, for what? Like, you talk to these people on the phone, so I'm like I said, I'm literal, and I actually kind of broke that barrier in my brain to where I started thinking of it differently. Because I'm like, I remember I was at my grandma's house with my family, and I had a couple cousins there, and I walk in, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, y'all?" Everybody looking down at their phone, and this is like 2015. Everybody looking down at their phone, and then I actually go on Facebook. And then I see some of my cousins like, "Oh, I'm having such a good time seeing my cousins." And it's like, they ain't even looked up and seen I was there or engaged with nobody. I was just talking to my uncle and my brother. And it's like, I got cousins sitting there like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see my cousins, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, y'all weird, man. Like, that's the world we living in. Mindless, brainless, spineless, soulless. And I don't want to be a part of that. I'm good. And I think people are putting their energy into the wrong things. Everybody trying to look like this, walk like that, sound like this, be like that, be like this. Be you. Be yourself. Be who you are supposed to be. People don't even know how to be themselves no more. That's a problem. Like, people can't think for themselves. People can't walk by themselves. Can't go to a movie by themselves. Can't eat by themselves. Can't cook for themselves. Can't live for yourself. Because everybody too busy looking at other people doing what they doing. And that's crazy to me, man. It's crazy. Like, nobody wants to be accountable for their own life or their own ways. Everybody wants to, I don't want to say have some type of inspiration, but they almost want somebody to follow. And I don't even like the term followers. Like, when you got Instagram, I think Facebook says followers, not friends. Like, at least MySpace used to say friends. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to follow you. I don't follow nobody. Never did, never will. And I mean that literally. I don't follow nobody. I had on my last Facebook page, which, I mean, I had it for business purposes. I didn't have no friends at first, and my brother's like, you should use your page to advertise. I tried it. I got in trouble with my wife because she was like, you got too many females on there. I got too many females on my page, which, I wasn't doing that on purpose. I just started, everybody was trying to add me, so I just started accepting everything. And it's like, she just saw that. And I was like, you don't see all these ignorant ass people on this page. You just see them 3 girls that got their titties showing. And I get it. I'm a married man. I understand completely. But, yeah, I started that, and then I realized, I'm like, don't nobody give a damn about my business. So I deleted everybody. And then, I had this page up until, a couple weeks ago. I had, 15 friends, and they all family. And it's like, I don't even talk to y'all. And if it's, close family, like my mom, my grandma, my sisters, my brothers, and, a couple other family members or family friends. And yeah, I don't got the same type of energy for it. If I use that stuff, it was really to pop off and speak speak the truth. Like, I'm telling, with all this sickness stuff that was going on, I was just posting things, trying to get people to see that this stuff ain't for real. I'm not saying the sickness ain't for real, but there's definitely a lot of fraudulent things regarding it, and a lot of bad people tied to it. And that's all I was trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to bring awareness, but everybody want to be a clone and be following. And I've been saying that since I was 15. I used to really say, man, I feel like I'm the only person alive in this world, and everybody's just a clone, like they brain dead. That ain't changed. I'm 31. It's been 16 years since I said that. 17. I'm about to be 32 next month. And it's just wild. It's wild, man. I definitely get the wisdom part, where you start wising up as you get older. Because it's I look back sometimes, and I thought I was so wise 5 years ago. I was like, damn, I was dumb as hell. Your brain is constantly absorbing new information, new things. And if that's the type of person you want to be, if you want to be a fool and be like, oh, I don't want to know nothing. I just want to smoke and drink. I just want to party. You want to be a fool. Well, they said I need to go get my poke in my arm. And they said I need to put the mask on because I can't breathe. Yeah, I'm good on that, man. I'm not following no trends. I'm not following no movements, because everything that in this day and age, if there's one bad thing in it, I can't get with it. It got to be all the way right. And if it ain't all the way right, then it's all the way wrong. You can't ignore 10 bad things when they got 100 good things. You can't ignore them 10 bad things. You know what I mean? That's like getting with a woman, or females getting with a dude. If this dude got some really bad qualities, like he's obsessive, he seems kind of like a serial killer, kind of looks like a serial killer, kind of looks like the person you saw on America's Most Wanted, and these things pop up in your head, you don't ignore those things. Those are warning signs. That's your spirit talking to you. But you can't ignore those things. You gotta, you know what I mean? I don't care if it's a movement, like regarding me, my race. I'm not for Black Lives Matter. And that shouldn't be a surprise, because a lot of people of color aren't. I don't support nothing that they do. I support the message. The message, yes, but the movement, hell no, because they don't represent us. These people are millionaires right now. For what? What have you done to have $1 million in your pocket besides sell people of color down the river? And everybody out here talking about Black Lives Matter, when it's really, they're really supporting a lot of sexuality decisions. You know what I'm saying? And they're supporting homosexuality. They're supporting Sodom and Gomorrah. That's really what it is, not homosexuality. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. They supporting that same-sex type stuff. And it's like, I ain't with that. I screenshotted it. They probably changed it since then, but their original About Me was really trying to break up the nuclear home, which is the male, the woman, and the child. The male is the head, the female is the tail. That's just the way it is. It's not a disrespectful thing. And I don't know what's up with the feminist stuff, or why women think that. Because what's happening is, when women think that they're men or can be put in a man's position, you are essentially asking for men to be more feminine. And then men being more feminine, that makes a woman more masculine. And there's no such thing as a woman being masculine and a man being feminine. A man can be feminine, but a woman cannot be masculine. Because you can never be as physically strong as a man. That's kind of like with the stuff now, where they got the people that change from a boy to a girl to go play sports with girls, but they're still physically a male. They just mutilated themselves and now are playing sports with females. They're going to physically dominate these females and have the upper hand, the advantage, breaking all kinds of records, because they are male still. I don't care what you decide to do. Nobody should care. No, I personally don't care what you decide to do. That's your choice, but I don't agree with it. I will never agree with that, because it's wrong morally. And it's wrong in the eyes of the Lord, and that's how I live my life. I'm a man of God, first and foremost. Lord God, Jesus Christ. Jesus is God's name. Jesus is God's name. Like, I don't support none of that stuff, because it's wrong. And if it's wrong in the Lord's eyes, it's wrong in mine. No offense to you or anybody that lives that life. I don't care what you do when you cut your lights off. I don't care what you do when you go home. I don't care what personal decisions you decide to do. I don't care if you remove your fingernails, change your hair color. You do what you want to do. I ain't judging you. I don't support that stuff. I don't agree with it. And I don't agree with males who make that decision to think that they're a female and go on playing sports with females, dominating these females. Like, imagine a 7'5" male saying, I'm a woman, and going playing basketball with females that's like 5'10" at the most. You're going to physically dominate. You thought Shaq was bad. You thought Shaq was dominating. Man, like, that's not fair because the tallest female can't say, oh, I'm a man, and then go play basketball with the man and dominate. They're going to get dominated because a male is built different than the female. We know that. But people act so surprised when they see these things, and it's like, come on, man. Stop being dumb. I don't support that stuff, and it shouldn't even be a thing. Like, that shouldn't even be a possibility for these people to even get into these types of sports. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do that, build your own. Make a, what they call it, co-ed thing where you got male and female sport. You know what I mean? Don't go trying to dominate the females. Like, I don't rock with that. Not at all, sir. Or ma'am. No offense. But, you know, I just, like I said, I'm very logical, man. Or literal. I'm very literal. And people they gotta cut these egos out, man. Like, people gotta cut the egos because ego is really nothing but pride. And pride is the worst possible thing. Pride is what got Satan kicked out of heaven. Pride to get you sent to hell. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of having pride if people don't know how to be humble in the first place? A lot of people operate off of pride. You know, nobody has humility. Nobody knows how to be vulnerable. Everybody has pride and ego. Well, I can't do that. I ain't that type of person. I can't do this. If you can't do it, that's one thing. But don't say what you ain't gonna do if you never tried it. That's pride. You know what I'm saying? I had that conversation earlier with a cat, and we were talking about like how it's kind of back with that job thing. Like, I was saying, like, I guarantee you, people that go to school, like, they go to school, get these high-end degrees and stuff like that, and then let's say they graduate and they can't get a job. Now, because, you know, they got this degree, that's not even what we was talking about. Well, really what I'm saying is, like, it's funny how in society, let's say McDonald's, people used to say McDonald's is a failure job. You know, like, if you flipping burgers at a burger joint, you failed in life. But I don't see that no more. I used to believe that because that's what we were taught, like, in school. Well, if you're flipping burgers when you graduate, you're a failure. Go to college and be something. You know what I mean? Like, college ain't for everybody. School ain't for everybody. But what I realize is, shoot, these people at McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, these people got cars. These people got houses. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these people really make careers out of this stuff and move up and move to different states and, you know, get their own franchises and stuff. And I mean, maybe it's not a lot of people, but it's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible for you to, you know, start your own business and be successful? Yeah. Very possible. But people don't look at that. They just see, I need a job. But what we were talking about was, like, it's funny how these people that get these, they go to college and get these degrees, they graduate, they want to make 7 figures a year, right? Let's say they do all that, and they can't find a job no more. They got to pay their mortgage by any means necessary, whatever job. But they think flipping burgers is a failure, so they go apply for McDonald's. They're not going to get the job because they're overqualified. And no job that's beneath these people's pay wage, for one, and two, beneath their work level, they're not going to hire them based on the fact that they know that this job is just a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? Like, That's the crazy thing to me. And it's not a bad thing. It's almost like a humble pie. Like if you go from working in a law firm making $80,000 a year or $150,000 a year to where you lose your job or lose your license and you can't do anything. You got to go flip a burger or two at a burger joint just to make ends meet. It's humble pie season. It's a season of humble pie. It's that pride, man. People think they too high for their britches. I remember when I used to think that way. And this was after I got this job where I was making that $2,500 every 2 weeks, which that job wasn't, it was more from the financial aspect. Not, because I was cleaning, washing dishes and stuff on the slope. And I worked for every penny I got back then. That was some hard money to make. But what happened was, like, I wound up getting laid off. And I had a place in Seattle, and I was like, man, I gotta get a job. So I wound up working at the YMCA, cleaning the YMCA, like scrubbing the floors and removing that mold off the fungus off the floors in the bathroom every single day. It was disgusting, man. Killing drain flies. It was just the nastiest job ever. And I just remember, like, I need another job, and I applied for McDonald's. I applied for Burger King and Wendy's, and I think I got an interview at McDonald's, but I think I like sabotaged myself because I was like, I don't want to do this. But I lived in a place where nobody knew me, and that was the time to do it because nobody knew me. And that's not I guess that at the time that was pride because I wouldn't do it here where I live, where I grew up at, because I didn't want people to see me working there and be like, Herb, is that you working McDonald's? Like, that's pride. And I lost that. I had to leave that behind. Because everything that I did in Washington, like that I had to do to make ends meet, I had to work at some jobs that I never would work at. You know what I mean? Like cleaning floors after people, and I went from $2,500. Like that's how I knew I was becoming a man, because when you're a man, you got to do something. You got to do whatever it is that you got to do to make sure you got a roof over your head and make sure you can pay your bills. I ain't out there doing no crazy stuff. I'm talking about work related things. You know what I mean? Like I did what I had to do. I walked 2 miles to work, 2 miles back home. Then I got another part-time job. I would leave the house at 11 p.m., work till 5, 6 in the morning, go sit at McDonald's for like 20 minutes, then walk another 2 miles to my other job, walk 2 miles, walk 4 miles back home pretty much. That's what I had to do for a little while. But not only that, I went from $2,500 every 2 weeks to the one job that I was working. I was making like $3.75. $9 an hour. And then the other job I was probably making, I think I was working like 3 or 4 hour days. So I was only making like another $250. I wasn't making nothing. Every 2 weeks, I mean, I was making enough to pay my rent, which was $675, but I couldn't have no life because I worked all the time. But as I'm going through this stuff, I had to put my pride aside. I started to realize, like, man, I'm doing what I got to do to ensure that I keep a roof over my head, because ain't nobody going to help me if it gets hard. And then everything kind of went to hell from there. The job contract ended. I wound up moving home, and everything that I learned there, I brought back home, and that pride was gone. First job I had, I was working at the gym, checking people in. You know what I mean? Studying my my homework and stuff, and that's just my mindset. I had to grow. I grew, and I will never ever look down on anybody in any position that they do, because somebody has to do something. Somebody has to work. Somebody has to pay these bills. Somebody has to pay their bills. I got to do what I got to do. I'm a massage therapist. And then that's my business. And then I started another business to where I'm making t-shirts. You know, eventually I'll start a third. I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I want to cut hair, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to have different trades because these are the things that's going to keep it going. So I don't look at people in their life and be like, oh, he's working at a law firm. He wears suits every day, carries suitcases. Like, I'm a success in my life. I take care of my wife and my children. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. You know what I mean? It ain't always fun. It ain't always easy. I don't get to take vacations every week or every 2 months or 2 years. I don't take vacations. I only took one vacation in these last 7 years, and it was a 4-day one. Appreciated it, but it ain't likely. You know, but that's not what I'm working for. I'm not working to take a vacation to go please people. You know what I mean? Take pictures of where I'm going. Like, I'm not doing it for that. I don't need a vacation because I'd rather work and take care of my kids and make sure my kids got food and clothes on their back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not worried about all that stuff. But it's, you know, people just got to be real with themselves, man. Like, I ain't trying to impress nobody. And the moment I stopped doing that, I became much happier. I don't care. And in the process of doing that, I also had to let go people in my life that I had to stop trying to impress people, and I put that down. And then I realized the next step was remove the people in your life that you can't be your true, genuine, happy self because they fester negative energy. And it's like when you mix a happy person or a person that's positive with the negative person, the negative is going to take over because you can't be positive with a negative person. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like a nonchalant kind of, oh man, I'm glad somebody doing good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear all that. You know what I mean? Like, just be happy for me. So I lost a couple friends, man, and I had to cut a couple family members off too, just because it's like, look, I ain't competing with y'all. I ain't about to measure up my level of success. Like, everything in my life ain't great, but I'm a happy man. Everything that I got going on isn't the best, but I'm a happy man regardless of my situation or my circumstances. I stay happy and I stay even keeled because things can be much worse. And I've been in them positions where it's been much worse. I've been homeless before. I remember staying in the shelter. You know, my mom was just telling me about this the other day. Nobody wanted to help us because my mom was struggling with a substance based on because my father passed away. She was struggling. You know what I'm saying? And she was, on her thing and doing her thing. And it was like nobody wanted to take us in. We got aunties and uncles and grandparents. You know what I mean? Nobody wanted to be there for us. So I take those lessons in life and I apply them and I keep them going with me. I don't ever forget them. I forgive everybody involved, and I don't ever forget them. And then I'm not using that as fuel. It's just a reminder, like, it can be like this. So be appreciative of where you are now. Like, people will be like, oh, you think you too good now. I'm like, no. I don't think I'm anything. I'm nothing. I'm just a good vessel. That's it. And I'm a man trying to be good for the Lord. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. I ain't trying to be nobody special. I ain't trying to be nothing special. I'm just trying to do what I got to do while I'm here to do it. Because ain't no hockey like a OP locky. That's what this old dude in the neighborhood used to say when we was kids. Ain't no hockey like a OP locky. But y'all, like I said, keep it trill always. Always keep it trill. You know what I mean? And my quote of the day is the biggest room in the world is the room for growth. Don't ever forget it. Keep it trill all the time. Keep it trill always. Always be trill. Peace out.